This holiday season, a world of Christmas wonder awaits. Enchant Christmas returns to the Las Vegas ballpark with an all-new world's largest Christmas light maze adventure. Wander through a maze with larger-than-life light sculptures, glide on a sparkling ice skating trail, and cozy up with a warm drink. From picture-perfect moments with Santa to festive shopping and delicious treats, Enchant is sure to delight all who attend. Bring your friends, your family, everyone you love to create magical memories together. Tickets are on sale now for the grandest holiday event of this season. Go to enchantchristmas.com for details.
Secular, seasonal, or religious, happy holidays, everyone. And one gift we have for you, the last Friday News Roundup of 2024. Today on CityCast Las Vegas, we're talking with interim executive producer Layla Muhammad and my co-host Sarah Lohman about how the FTC's new rules on so-called junk fees affect Las Vegas tourism, a fight going down in East Las Vegas over a transitional housing project, and so long, Whiskey Pete, the closure of an iconic Southern Nevada casino. It's Friday, December 20th. I'm Dayvid Figler, and here's what Las Vegas is talking about. Sarah and Layla, welcome to the Friday News Roundup.
Good morning.
Hi, Dayvid. Happy Christmaska. Happy Hanumas. It's all happening on the same day.
Happy Pastramica, too. That's like an inside thing. And welcome to all of our new listeners who are popping in for the final Friday News Roundup of the year. As you know, Sarah and Layla, we like to start out the Friday News Roundup with the hot headline.
Hot headline!
It's the best. So this is a story that just popped in the news, and we're just going to just talk about it very briefly before we move on to the main stories of the week. It's taken years, but it looks as though the Badlands debacle is finally coming to an end. Sarah, you did an excellent episode on CityCast Las Vegas about the ins and outs of this crazy litigation that was threatening to bankrupt the city of Las Vegas. Why do you think it took so long to resolve?
Oh, because it was a GD mess, Dayvid. It was
there you
an
go.
absolute catastrophe. I'm surprised it's resolved at all, to be honest, but it does seem to be.
Could you give like the quickest elevator, like the elevator going from floor 1 to floor 2 about what this thing was about?
Yeah, so everyone, please refer back to the episode I did with Steve Sebelius and Darcy Spears. They're the true experts, and it's a great roundup. But basically, a developer bought a golf course to build housing on it. The neighborhood didn't want the housing there. The city stepped in to stop the housing. The developer sued because he had a right to build that housing. And that was, how many years ago? A lot. And hundreds of millions of dollars later, the city of Las Vegas owes a lot of money to this developer for doing something illegal.
Yeah, that's been going on like 10 years.
Yeah, Dayvid, you were at a city council meeting where they approved the settlement. Were there any surprises there?
I was, Layla, doing some neighborhood advocacy, and we had to wait for a little while the Badlands settlement was coming on. Well, we should mention, it's kind of a convoluted thing, and it's not a final deal, but it was close. The total thing was like there's $600 million sort of moving around. The city's going to get a bunch of that back because a new developer's kind of coming in. And then the original developer who was aggrieved and won all those cases is going to pocket the balance, which is about $250 million. So he did pretty well. But the crazy thing was the interaction between new Mayor Shelley Berkeley and her former opponent, who's still a city council person, Victoria Seaman. This all happens in Victoria Seaman's ward, and Victoria Seaman wanted to make a statement on the record about the whole thing, and Shelley's like, nah, not going to do it. And so then there was like this tension and this staring and stuff. It turned out that at the end of the meeting in public comment, Victoria Seaman left the dais, came down to talk with the public, and then made her statement and was very deliberate about pointing out that she was not given the opportunity to speak like everyone else was. It was very tense.
So
very
she made
spicy.
her statement as a public comment.
It was weird. She left the front to come down to the mic where all the common peoples were talking, including myself. That was wild. So we'll see if that kind of tension pervades the rest of the term on city council. Something to watch for sure. But let's get into the stories of the week. There was an FTC ruling or a new rule of sorts on something called junk fees, which definitely sounds like a Vegas deal. So, Sarah, what happened there?
Oh, well, honestly, the FTC has given us an amazing Christmas present in the form of saving us billions of dollars and billions of hours of time. So on Tuesday, the Federal Trade Commission issued a final ruling that the advertised cost of a ticket or a hotel room must be the same as it would be at the end of checkout. Now, this is reporting via 8 News Now. I'm sure that we have all had the experience of buying a ticket to an event or booking a hotel room, and the advertised amount at the beginning of that process is not the same as at the end. Resort fees, booking fees, delivery fees, junk fees get tagged on. They can more than double the price of what you're trying to book. So the FTC says that is now illegal. The price at the beginning of the transaction and the price as advertised has to be the same as the price at the end. And again, this double impacts in Vegas, not only because we do tons of events here, but because we are famous for our resort fees that really jack up the prices of hotel rooms. Now, this doesn't mean that those fees are necessarily going away, just that the price has to reflect those fees at the beginning. So I am interested to see what's going to happen. Will ticket prices simply increase across the board, which is not necessarily a loss. It's an honest number at this point. You don't have to shop around.
An honest number in Las Vegas. Go figure.
The only. Well, we'll see. Or I'm curious, will this create more competition? And so hotels and ticket prices will go down across the board. So the new rule will go into effect within 120 days. Of course, there is some question right now whether or not this rule will be kept in the incoming Trump administration. The new chair of the FTC has been critical, although not of the merits of the rule itself, just that they passed a new law so close to the change of power.
Oh, that's always kind of like wah. It's like, well, they shouldn't be able to do anything.
It feels a little bit like we have to do work. That's not against the Trump administration specifically. I hate when this happens, especially since this has actually been in the works since October 2023. It just happened to cross now. So this would be amazing as a consumer. So I really do hope that it goes forward as planned.
Do you guys think this is more important for a place like Las Vegas than perhaps places that don't have as much tourism or rely on this tourism as much?
I think it's pretty dang important for Las Vegas because of our hotel casino culture. So many people come through and book hotels, and those resort fees can really up the price when you're booking to the end. As a local, I'm really excited about this because as someone who buys tickets and concert tickets in Las Vegas regularly, this is going to definitely affect me at every venue.
Yes.
This is something that when it started in October of 23, I was buying tickets to a BTS show and Taylor Swift and Beyonce. And those ticket prices were insane. The base ticket price was insane.
Ticketmaster has a monopoly, too, which they've already been criticized for. So this is also going to affect their ability to jack up prices with just it doesn't pay for anything. It's just for profit.
Yeah. And so I think in Las Vegas, it makes a difference because hopefully it helps tourists book and makes our tourism industry thrive. But also for a local, even when I was in high school, booking tickets to the end was a totally different price. And so I'm excited to see how that, whether ticket prices just seem higher or the price is just more honest. I'm excited that there's not going to be a whole bunch of hidden fees tacked on to the end.
Yeah, I'm sure one of the groups that are really excited about this are the front desk workers who probably get a lot of ire thrown at them. Like, what the hell is a human interaction fee? What the hell is a peanut gazing fee? Or whatever.
Can't even, tell people how much tickets to a show will cost until you walk through the entire process to figure it out. It's annoying.
Yeah.
Where do you think surprise junk fees show up most in Las Vegas? Have you heard of any? I mentioned a couple there. The human interaction fee is like a real deal thing, right? Didn't we talk about that on the podcast at one point?
Yes, that was here on the FNR. But I think that I have really had to learn about resort fees when I moved to Vegas. Certainly there are other places that do them, but they are endemic to the native environment of Las Vegas. And so really, I hate the fact that if I'm looking to book a room for a staycation or for friends coming into town, that I can't easily quote them the price of the room.
Yeah. Layla, have you heard what a resort fee even is? It seems so variable from property to property.
Yeah, from growing up in Vegas, it's always just been something that you expect if you're booking a staycation or if you're booking for family that's coming into town, expect the resort fees that's going to be tacked onto there. That might skyrocket the price of your booking per night. Yeah, resort fees have always been just a part of the booking process for me. And I'm surprised that other places don't have as much resort fees as Vegas does. Like, in my mind, that's every hotel everywhere. But I mean, I guess in Vegas, it's just special.
Do you think this litigation goes far enough? It is just a notice. I mean, it's truth now in advertising, which I think everyone agrees is really important. But like you said, Sarah, it doesn't ban the garbage junk fees, like, the literal breathing the air fee or something like that. So do you think this is just the first step, or you think this is enough?
I think this is an interesting experiment in the free market. I think that the FTC is saying you can put whatever price you want for your room, but it has to be the same price at the beginning of the transaction as at the end. So what is that going to do to the hotel rates here in Vegas? What is that going to do to the Ticketmaster tickets? Will prices come down across the board, or will we just have a more accurate estimate of what we were going to pay anyway? I kind of think that both are a win. The Las Vegas Ballet presents The Nutcracker. Las Vegas's favorite holiday tradition runs from December 14th through the 27th at the Smith Center. Choreographed by James Canfield, The Nutcracker is a magical journey through a larger-than-life world filled with waltzing flowers, nimble fairies, and moonlit snow. Travel to a land of toy soldiers, mischievous mice, and visitors from faraway lands. The Las Vegas Sun called it the most visually beautiful production ever staged in Reynolds Hall. This classic festive ballet is the perfect outing for the whole family or an intimate date night. Don't miss out on the joy and spectacle of the Nutcracker. Visit nevadaballet.org for more details and to purchase tickets. That's nevadaballet.org, nevadaballet.org.
People often ask me for a recommendation down in the Arts District for food, and I tell them, you gotta try Soul Belly. I've been going to Soul Belly since the day they opened. It's a bustling restaurant and venue located on Main Street, right in the heart of the Arts District. They serve creative, regional barbecue under the direction of Chef Bruce Coleman. Soul Belly also offers deliciously simple cocktails, hyper-local beer, fantastic bartenders, and if you're lucky, live entertainment that will blow your socks off. Their mission? Well, it's simple. Use the most responsibly raised, high-quality ingredients to create the best possible barbecue and just have fun. Soul Belly is a great outing for groups of all sizes. They could also host your holiday event or even organize a great party with a live band. And if you're lucky, you'll get a special like burnt ends. But you can't go wrong with the regulars, whether it's brisket, pulled pork, chicken, and all those delicious sides. Don't sleep on the mac and cheese. They could also cater lunch for your office if you're looking for a treat, like we did here at CityCast Las Vegas not terribly long ago. So visit soulbellybarbecue.com or just drop by and see what's coming off the smoker today. That's SOULBELLYBBQ.com. All right, y'all, let's move on to topic 2. East Las Vegas residents are voicing concern over a transitional housing project. We see a lot of these projects being presented, Layla, and then opposition almost always comes up. So what's going on here in East Las Vegas?
Yes, this is a possible expansion of Bridge Counseling Associates that would be in East Las Vegas on their McLeod Drive campus. It is for transitional housing. They are a mental health and substance abuse counseling nonprofit. Neighbors voiced their concern about the proximity to their neighborhoods. Some concerns are saying that they don't want this in an established neighborhood. That's from a resident that's been in the area for 20 years. Bridge Counseling Associates is proposing an expansion on their campus for 50 units. That'll be roughly 100 beds. And this reporting is from KTNV. It's interesting because residents say that they are in favor of helping people in the community, but this new facility would create safety concerns. And East Las Vegas hasn't had the best reputation for safety. So I'm sure that they are, worried about property value and the proximity to this new transitional housing facility. But Bridge Counseling Associates has been in the community for 50 years. And for people who don't know, transitional housing isn't permanent housing. This helps people from 1 to 12 months get into permanent housing. I saw an interesting statistic that 80% of people in transitional housing move on to permanent housing. So neighbors in the area are fighting this possible project from Bridge Counseling Associates, but it has not been approved yet.
Quick question. So this is for people who are unhoused, not people who are recovering from addiction?
This is for people...
those two things can go together, but...
Yeah, so Bridge Counseling Associates focuses on mental health and substance abuse cases and counseling.
Got it.
I think typically when we talk about transitional housing, we talk about people who are certainly at a minimum housing insecure. Oftentimes that means people who are on the streets, but not always. And transitional housing, to my understanding, is just sort of a way station with some supportive services that are available to essentially get people on their feet and help them navigate the sometimes complicated and, in these modern days, difficult process of getting a stable place that is your own.
Yeah, patients staying at this potential housing project would have to be following a treatment plan, or they could be asked to leave.
Yeah, there's always a lot of rules for their clients, et cetera. I haven't heard this particular terminology before. We live in an established neighborhood, so we shouldn't have this. I'm wondering if this is a good point, a new point.
What does it mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I've been barely holding in my anger for the past minutes.
I feel that
it's clearly
the
coded.
NIMBY imby episode that we did on CityCast is kind of rising back up again. So, Sarah, let it loose. Go ahead.
That's coded terminology. So what do we think that's coded for? What's an established neighborhood? Where should it be built? In the desert?
I think it is a kind of a NIMBY issue. East Las Vegas does have older neighborhoods of houses that have been there for a really long time.
And it's typically been lower middle class neighborhoods.
But is that what an established neighborhood is?
Mixed. Well, I mean, what I'm saying is it's not the hoity-toity part of Las Vegas. I love East Las Vegas and the East Side.
Yeah.
I grew up East Side adjacent, and I have a lot of friends from East Side. But it is a culturally diverse area, and it has always been sort of a middle-class, lower-to-middle-class.
It sounds perfect for transitional housing. There's something coded in that speaker has that we're not catching on to, and maybe that's good. Because, of course, the point of transitional housing is that this is to transition people back into a housed state. Vegas has a lot of difficulties with unwalkable neighborhoods and lack of access to basic services like a grocery store or a post office for someone who doesn't have a car. And we don't have good public transportation. So an established neighborhood is exactly the place where this should go, because this is about people readjusting to being able to live on their own or live with their families, to transition into being housed. And just by being in house, people who are unhoused and people who are dealing with addiction are not criminals. Those individuals can commit criminal acts. But
we need to stop the narrative that affordable housing, transitional housing only brings crime to a neighborhood. That's fully disproven. There's no evidence on that. That's all just weird gut. And like you said, sometimes coded talk.
And I think Bridge Counseling Associates is trying to combat that narrative by stating in this that there will be on-site security from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. I think they're trying to help neighbors understand and support this housing facility more.
And that works both ways. That's keeping the people in transitional housing safe, too, who also deserve a safe place to live. Everybody does. Everyone, stop fighting against people having homes. Get it together, everybody.
And from what I've heard so far, I mean, it is an interesting narrative that's different, because we often hear this from, like Summerlin or whatever, that doesn't belong here. And here the argument is, look, we're a working class neighborhood. Why is it always our neighborhoods that, these type of projects get built in? Why don't they go all over the valley? Why are they continually just focused in our working class neighborhoods? Now, forget about whether it's a good or bad thing for a neighborhood. I think that it's just sort of this exhaustion or this feeling that it's happening in the working class or the lower economic neighborhoods more than its fair share. Is that, part of this argument too? Is that a legitimate part of the argument?
I think it probably just has to do with the cost of land.
Yeah, because looking at the McLeod campus, there are 2 large dirt plots that would be ideal, I'm guessing, for Bridge Counseling Associates to build a new facility on right next to their existing campus. So their resources would not be far away. Their patients would not have to travel far. I mean, there is housing down the street. The comments made at the meeting made me think that this was going to be like right next door, like a neighbor. It is, I think, far away enough and with security that hopefully the neighbors can get on board. Having a transitional housing in this area could also connect the patients to stores and walkable things in the area. So instead of building out in a random lot on the edge of town.
It shouldn't be treated like a prison. Like, these are your fellow human beings who need help.
One other thing that I saw that might be interesting in this conversation has to do with the property value, because I know homeowners can get really nervous about new developments in their area that could affect their property value. In preliminary studies, it hasn't been shown that homeless shelters, it's homeless shelters. Homeless shelters has negatively affected property value. The Independent Budget Office of New York City did find that adult shelters do negatively impact more than youth shelters, but that's in New York City, and their landscape and their zoning rules are way different than us. And this property is going to be, I think, further from residential areas than this article makes it seem.
Property values is a weird metric. And I always felt that your property values don't go down if you are vested in all the things in your neighborhood, whatever they might be. If they're
It feels
addiction
knee-jerk.
treatment or whatever.
Oh, my property values.
If it becomes part of the community, it doesn't negatively impact. But if you silo it and you vilify it, it potentially does. So I think there's a workaround to this whole property value argument, which is be good neighbors.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Deck your home with Blinds.com. La 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 la. La 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 Blinds.com. DIY or let us install. La 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 la. La 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 Blinds.com. Free design consultation. Free. Plus free samples and free shipping. Free.
Head to Blinds.com now for up to 40% off site-wide, plus a free professional measure. La Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
All right, this last story is mine. Whiskey Pete's, a great name of a casino that's been down in the Primm area, which is right on the state line of Nevada and California. The tragically weirdo end of our segment of I-15, the tarnished pot of nickels at the end of that peculiar rainbow, is closing. And just the whole area over there has just not been coming back, not just from the pandemic, but just from life. There's a kind of an abandoned roller coaster out there and an abandoned outlet mall.
Is it abandoned? I wanted to go on the roller coaster.
Oh, it's long gone.
You know, I read that they still do test runs to keep it viable, but it hasn't been operational for a really long time, the old Desperado.
That was my first roller coaster I ever rode.
Get out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that you have good memories of that area, but right now, you know, it's kind of like last chance to gamble if you haven't scratched that itch, or hey, you're here in Nevada, take a shot right off the bat. And you know, from what I understand, it has not been a gambler's, you know, like a sharps destination for a while, meaning they don't have the best odds games, and the table games are pretty limited. And now it looks like Whiskey Pete's is going to close. The other properties are out there either going to have limited hours. It's just not what it used to be. Let's maybe celebrate that kind of peculiar area. I mean, Sarah, when you moved to Las Vegas and the first time that you kind of passed it, what were your impressions about Primm and places like the Whiskey Pete's?
Where am I? Yeah, I've made a lot of drives to LA. Even when I moved here, I had friends in LA, so I was doing that drive pretty early. Even on our episode about the drive to LA, you guys were just like, yeah, here are all the places you can go to the bathroom at State Line.
Right.
Also, can I just say that I actually didn't realize that it used to be called State Line, not Primm. I just thought you all called it that because you're kind of literal and old-timey, but that was its actual name before it was State Line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know that Whiskey Pete is a real person? You know that, Dayvid.
I do and I don't. I mean...
He was a real person.
I didn't.
Layla, he's a real person.
Was Cactus Kate his actual bride? Because at one point there's a place named Cactus Kate's out there and they had them married.
I don't think he was married. He seemed a little curmudgeonly, but I have it on good authority that
Tell me the saga of Whiskey Pete now that we're...
Okay. I don't know all the details, but I have it on good authority that he was a handsome Western man, is what I've been told. Wow. He had a gas station there, basically, for people coming into or out of Las Vegas. The gas station didn't do well, so during Prohibition, he was a bootlegger. And he asked to be buried, basically, in front of his service station.
Gasoline doubled as a double shot on the rocks.
Woof. I mean, I think, you could still get gas there, but you could also definitely get, he was a real person, but real, Nevada, pew, 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 I don't pay attention to the law kind of guy. When he died, I don't remember when he died, but he asked to be buried vertically facing the highway with, moonshine and guns.
Bury me in my boots.
And there's a photo of his grave out in the desert, but before Primm was there, with a wooden cross in it. So whenever they built the light rail that connects the two casinos, as they were digging through the ground, the light rail, whatever it is, the little people mover, they clipped the edge of a plywood box, and it turned out to be Whiskey Pete's coffin.
Oh no, we've disturbed Whiskey Pete.
You disturbed
We're
Whiskey
doomed.
Pete.
We're gonna have to close in 2024.
It was, maybe he cursed him. I don't know, but it was laying like a normal coffin, and they said there was clothes, there was a little hair, it was mostly bones, and they just put it in a new box and put it back where they found it, essentially.
Wow.
So he's still out there in an unmarked grave under the Whiskey Pete light rail.
Wow.
That's insane.
And people say that you can still see him on the light rail to this day.
He haunts it.
Well, Layla, the roller coaster's not exactly at Whiskey Pete's, but it's nearby. Do you have any specific
Buffalo
memories
Bills,
of Whiskey
right?
Pete?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, we went to Buffalo Bills a lot, so it was always just the other property across the street. But once Buffalo Bills kind of got...
Why did you go to Buffalo Bills a lot?
Well, she had the roller coaster.
It was our roller coaster. We were traveling as kids to see family in California, so we would stop at Buffalo Bills, ride the roller coaster if we had time.
Last chance to pee, kids.
Exactly, and go to the bathroom. But once, I don't know when this switch happened, but at one point, Whiskey Pete's became our regular bathroom stop. So that was that's the only memory I really have of Whiskey Pete's.
I hit the rest stop after Primm. That's the problem. Because I know, I don't want to deal with getting off and exiting, going to a casino and find I just go to there's a rest stop 10 miles out of town. Maybe that's what killed State Line.
I have a novel that I've been just plowing through for the last couple of months, and I love it so much, but it's 600 pages. And it is set in Las Vegas, but there are some pivotal scenes literally in Whiskey Pete's. And I'm going to recommend this book to everyone. It's called Last Call by Tim Powers. It's sort of a fantasy. There's a bunch of tarot cards and ghosts and things, but it's a wonderful journey. It's a noir of sorts. But Whiskey Pete shows up in it, and I just laughed out loud when they hit Whiskey Pete.
The person or the casino?
Oh, the casino itself. The casino.
You did say it as
they're
Whiskey
hanging out.
Peach. Yeah, we thought there could be ghosts.
Yeah, no, there are. That's funny. I think that if the author would have known about the legend of Whiskey Pete, it might have taken 20 extra pages, because why not? If you're at 600, just keep going. All right, if casinos aren't successful at State Line anymore, and it looks like they're really suffering, let's have fun with this topic. What else should replace it? What else should be there? And I'm going to start this one. I rarely start it. I always kind of bring up, but I want to get mine out.
Okay.
World's largest porta potty. Because that's what's out there anyway, and just really capitalize.
Yeah, why would you make it a porta potty when it could be a nice bathroom?
Yeah, it could be luxury bathrooms.
Well, it could be a luxury porta potty. It could be neon lit. Go take a piss in the world's biggest
just
toilet.
One?
Well, I mean, there would be a
Do we all
there'd be a
group
whole
pee in it?
complex, and like give it to Meow Wolf. It would be like you go through it to get to the place where you could ultimately relieve
I'm on the
yourself.
road.
No, seriously, I want the biggest, baddest
I can't.
place to relieve yourself possible, and I think it should start with a giant porta potty that you go in, and then it's like
No,
an
if I'm
escape room
stopping to
too.
pee,
Oh, come on,
I'm in,
just
I'm
let me have
out.
my fun.
No, I got to get to Eddie World. I can't linger in the Meow Wolf porta potty at the group pee station. Get me out of
Our
here.
producer just gave me a note that said that I was being charmingly disgusting.
So
And I
weird.
think that's the name of the project, Charmingly Disgusting. All right, look, I'm moving on. That's my idea. It's out there. If somebody picks it up, again, free idea for you, the world's largest utility stop for, your business.
Okay, I mean, clearly it has to be some sort of destination, right? Actually, question, is the giant thrift store, Sandy Thrift, still there? Is that closed too?
Oh, I don't know.
All
But
the
I like where
shopping?
this is kind of going.
Mhm.
The
I don't
world's
know.
largest.
No, I would have gone, it is so close to Vegas and it's failing because of that, but it seems like we just got to turn that around into it's so close to Vegas, it needs to succeed. Like, we all love a staycation. We all love a close by, beautiful, quiet place to stay, right? I'm a writer. So, it does seem like those hotel rooms could be reused to something better. I don't have an answer, but it needs to be less of a way station and more of a destination. You can have that state line. Figure it out.
Well, they've got the Primm Valley resort out there,
Clearly
which
it's
they're
not
trying to invigorate. So maybe it could be a whole complex using some of the now
No, but
vacant
that is
spaces.
what it was, David.
Yeah.
At the moment, Whiskey Pete's was just overflow hotel usage. It was already closed for Primm Valley. So something's got to change.
All right, Layla.
I think we're building one big complex here because my suggestion was put a theme park out there. I know theme parks hit or miss.
Six Flags.
Yeah, exactly. Something like Six Flags, something with rides and roller coasters on a large scale. I think we're missing that in Las Vegas.
Definitely.
I always go out to California and go to their theme parks. But if we have it at the state line, it's a little closer. Hopefully the traffic is far away enough where it doesn't affect the city too bad. It will
Yeah.
affect people driving in from California, which is not my problem.
No.
But I think a theme park out there might work. They can keep the hotels for people staying there and wanting to stay the night, use it for employee housing,
Yeah.
something like that.
Hey, we're at the end of the month, which means that New Year's Eve is coming up. Real quickly, has anyone got any cool New Year's Eve plans? I don't.
I actually do, which is very out of character for me.
Ooh.
I know. I usually do something on New Year's Day, starting off the year with a hike. But a friend had an extra ticket to go see Anima at the Sphere. And we're going to be in general admission, down dancing. So yes, Layla, this will tell your sister. This will be my first EDM show.
She will
we're-
also be there.
Oh my God! Okay,
Yeah.
let me get her number. We're gonna hang. Yeah, I'm going with my sis. We're doing a steakhouse dinner before. I think Gordon Ramsay. I don't know.
Wow,
Just
all right.
someone dropped out and it was already paid for, and Sarah Lohman has taken it over. So I actually have
Amazing.
some epic New Year's Eve plans.
That's really nice. Those tickets were really hard to get too.
Really?
I'm a little boring on New Year's. I tend to try to stay away from being outside. But Rob Catchell-Reese, our Hey Las Vegas newsletter editor, put up a great guide to where to see New Year's Eve fireworks in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
And
that's the one.
Yeah, the only thing that might tempt me to venture out is Lake Las Vegas is setting off fireworks at the stroke of midnight on the East Coast. So it'll be at 9 p.m.
Love
so
it.
That's an old Vegas tradition, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
an early
so you can go
bedtime.
see Lake Las Vegas fireworks at 9 p.m. and be in bed by midnight.
Well, Happy New Year to you guys,
New
and
Year.
Happy New Year to
Happy
all
New
our
Year.
listeners. We're looking forward to so many good news stories in 2025, and we're really glad to have everybody as part of the City Cast Network.
Yeah,
so
see you
thank
in
you
the new
so
year.
much. See you guys.
Bye. Thanks, David.
Bye.
And that's all for today here on CityCast Las Vegas. Our executive producer is Sonia Cho Swanson. Our interim executive producer is Layla Muhammad. Our producers this week were Myron Kaplan and Natalie Rivera. Our newsletter editor is Rob Catchell-Reese, and our hosts are Sarah Lohman and me, Dayvid Figler. Music is by OG Moose, Epidemic Sound, and All the Kimonos. We record this show on the traditional homelands of the Nuwuvi, the Southern Paiute people. If you enjoyed the show, hey, go tell a friend. That's an excellent excellent New Year's resolution, you could rate our show, leave us a review too, and subscribe to our morning newsletter, Hey Las Vegas. It's all free. We'll be back on January 2nd with more news from around the city. Till then, everybody, Happy New Year and stay lucky. Sarah or Layla, save me. Get me out of this.
No, like every time I go in a porta potty, I look down the hole and I can't stop myself.
Stop
and
it.
it's awful.
The hole
Why do
will
I
be an
do that?
actual void, and you could go down it Meow Wolf
It's
style
awful.
or Omega Mart style.
I don't want to go down a porta potty hole.
No.
You come upon Whiskey Pete's grave. It's so
All right,
good.
Sarah, save this.